Shalom. Does the powers that be come from God? Does it? Does the power that be come from God? Just think about it now. There's all kinds of magical things um, that go on in our society. Harry Potter. Um, I've heard people say, "Oh, it's just the games. It's nothing serious about this. This is not." I wouldn't call it witchcraft, but I would call it magic. And there are many names for magic people call. But when you dabble into this magic of any kind, you are actually serving the God of Satan, one of his gods, his demons of this earth. You are serving Satan. When you practice any kind of magic, you're using his power, not our Father's power, because he doesn't need you to help him. I had a woman tell me once that um, when I told her she need to stop doing that, it's evil, it's wrong. And she said, well, you have to understand, Pastor, we don't think of it as evil. We think of it as the power of God. My mother worked it, her mother, and it's a culture to us. And that's true. In many parts of the world, working this magic is a cultural thing. The mother teaches the daughter teaches her daughter, and it goes on down from generation to generation. And that's one of the generational curses, working Satan's magic. When you cast a spell or a curse upon someone, who do you think carries out the mission? Because adding two herbs together or whatever kind of ritual you go through have no power of its own. There's no magical power in anything. It's that's lifeless. When you mixture certain potions and you expect that potion to do this or that, those are demons you are conjuring up. Those are demons that answer those magical prayers that you're sending in or curses. Those are demonic forces that are carrying out your job for you, that are working for you. And once you owe Satan, you think it's going to be easily payback? You think you could ever pay him back? No. But when you work magic, you are using Satan power. And if you're using Satan power, he is your God. The Ouija board, people think is harmless. No, that's worked through demonic forces, demons of this earth. That is what the Ouija board will work through, demons. When you read fortune, you can tell people what's on their minds and tell them about their lives. Do you think a human being have the knowledge or the gift to actually do that on their own of themselves? No, it's the demon that lives on the inside of the fortune tellers. It's demons who giving them this information. Because you have to remember, demons have always been here on this earth. Demons have lived in people throughout their lifetimes. So when you go to a seance, for instance, and you want to conjure up your grandmother or your great great granddaddy or whomever is dead, you want to conjure them up. Do you think they have the power to actually come and answer these things for you or to give you this information? No. It's the demonic forces, the demons that's been here from the beginning and that has lived in your great great grandfather or your great grandmother or whomever you're trying to conjure up and get information on. These are demonic forces. You can't have it both ways. Some people know that and realize that they are praying to Satan. They call him the Luciferian God, and they realize it. But many of you are tricked into worshiping Satan and believing you worshiping the true God, and you're not. Genesis 44:5. Is not this it in which my Lord drank, and whereby indeed the divination? Ye have done evil in so doing. You know, divination means fortune telling. It means premonition, forecasts, all of that. And God calls it evil, which it is. Deuteronomy 18:10-12. There shall not be found among you any one that makes his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that use divination, or any observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination. An abomination, he call you, unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God do drive them out from before thee. So God drives out the witches. You know, they used to hang witches a number of years ago. And because a witch was doing the abominable thing. God says an abomination, it's an abomination to work this magic. And some say, well, oh, it's just a little white magic, just like they call white lies. Let me tell you something. Any kind of magic you perform belongs to Satan. Any kind. If you work a magic to bring you good luck, so-called good luck, that is of the devil. Who do you think blesses these people that pray into Satan? The blessings are coming from Satan, not from our God. Satan blesses his own with a smile, because as he bless you, he is grinning and laughing loud. These fools think they are serving the Almighty, and they are serving me. He laugh at you because he's fooled you, just as he had me fooled for most of my life. But I have woke up. 2 Kings 23-24. 23, the 23rd chapter in verse 24. Moreover, the workers with familiar spirits, and the wizards, and the images, and the idols, and all the abominations that were spied into the land of Judah and Jerusalem did Josiah put away, that he might perform the words of the law, which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of the Lord. So Hezekiah, you know, they burned all this junk because they had all of this in the synagogue, using all of this black magic and familiar spirits, all in God's house. You know, this will happen from time to time. And then when we get a true priest of God, he'll come and clean out the priesthood. He'll clean it out from the Kenites who have endrafted themselves in, have come in and pretending to be Jews. Many times the synagogue had to be cleansed from the priests that pretend to be Jews. Now he and these priests that was pretending to be Jews was working the works of Satan in God's house, just as they are doing now in Jerusalem, just in Israel. They are working evil in God's house, in the synagogue of our Father, God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who created all things. Now, Leviticus 20:27. A man also or woman that has a familiar spirit or that is a wizard shall truly be put to death. They shall stone them with stones. Their blood shall be upon them. A wizard is a witch, same as a witch, a sorcerer, warlock, or black magic worker. All of these people are the same. There is no difference. They all worship Satan and use the power of Satan to do what they require. Whatever it is they want done, they're using the power of Satan. Isaiah 8:19. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards and that peak, meaning whisper, and that mutter, should not a people seek unto their God for the living from the living to the God? You know, when you conjure up spirits, it's demonic. It is not of God. Any of this stuff, none of it is of God, not of the true God. It is of God, Satan. That is the God that you are using when you use magical powers. And Satan have ways to con you into working this. Because see, when you put something together and make magic, Satan make it come true. Then you are his. You are his God. You are the child of Satan when you use any form of magic. Acts 19:11-16. And God wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, 12, so that from his body were brought into the sick handkerchiefs and aprons, and the disease depart from them, and the evil spirits went out of them. At one time, Paul he would pray over an apron or a handkerchief, and he'll have his secretary or someone take this handkerchief to the diseased person and put it on that place of disease, and that person is healed. Okay, people took that and started you doing it for money gain and as a magical thing. So they took what was good and they made it evil, because they had people paying for handkerchiefs and paying for these cloths that they put on. Some of them call them what they call these people, the cloth that they send to people, supposed to have magic in it, not from God though, but from them. Okay, that is of the devil. Anything that you think you could do to make something happen is evil. Any kind of trickery, any kind of magical thing that you perform, a ritual to make something happen, is of the devil. Then certain of the vagabond Jews, Exodus, took upon themselves to call over them which had evil spirits, the name of the Lord Jesus, or I would say Christ, saying, "We adjourn you by Jesus whom Paul preached." These was fake Jews who called themselves Jews, but they were not, and they tried to pray out demons on this person. And I'm going to show you what happened to these people. who were trying to use the power of God, but they was not the children of God. They was not true Jews of God. Let's see what happened. 14. And there were 7 sons, one Siva, a Jew, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said to the Jews that were trying to perform an exorcism on these people, on this person, the demon that they were trying to exorcise out of a man, it said, Jesus I know, and Paul I know, but who are you? This is what the demons told Sifa, who was a Jew, but he wasn't a real Jew. He didn't have the power. 16. And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaked on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded. Yes, they fled naked and wounded out of that house. So the demons that they were trying to cast out of a man jumped into them because, hey, this man was not recognized as a child of God. This Siva was not recognized. So these people that tried to do this was not real. So the demons jumped into them. And you know, in many churches you go to, pastors will not touch a person that is possessed. Many of them won't, because they know they're not of God. And they know that those demons will get in them and they will have a hard time getting rid of them. So, you know, some people who are pretending to be Christians know they are serving Satan. I ask that you all look into this, and we have many young people who are dabbling in this witchcraft. Young girls are putting spells on their boyfriend for love, and young men are putting spells on their girlfriend for love. This is all of Satan, people. You don't want to do that, because one thing about it, once you owe Satan, you never, hardly ever, are able to pay him back. You will belong to him for the rest of your days. So get it right. If you are dabbling in witchcraft, denounce Satan. Denounce him, because you have claimed him as your God. Denounce Satan and go to your Father and ask for forgiveness and come back to him, because that is not the God that you want to serve. Satan, people end up losers in any kind of way you put it. They become losers on this earth, and they are losers in hell, burned into eternity. So I want to say thank you for listening, and I hope that you will take it serious and stop working the magic, and tell all those that are to stop. And I'm going to tell you another thing that witchcraft does. You don't live too long when you work in the witchcraft. Or if you do live, you'll have a disease. You can have cancer, or some kind of a sickness will come upon you. And if it's a generational thing, because you have families who have practiced witchcraft throughout history, their family's history. And if that's true, all you got to do is go into that family history and see how many people have died of cancer. See how many people have died early from car accidents or from other means. They don't live long. God will take them out now, especially in this end time, because he said he's going to cut out witchcraft in these times. So these people are not living long. And you know, as long as they're working witchcraft against each other and they all sinners, they may go further, longer. But when they work witchcraft on God's children, that is when they either become down with bad sicknesses, diseases, or a short life. So, working witchcraft is evil, and it can only bring you sicknesses and diseases or death. So, I'm going to say shalom and thank you.